is Jill Perry and I'm with Madisonville Community College. We are going to be discussing a few examples of probability without replacement. So in our first example of probability without replacement, we are first going to need to find out how many total plastic eggs, I'm going to be using eggs today for my example, in the total, or in the container. I have 6 green, 4 yellow, and 2 orange. We need to find a total of all of the eggs in the container. So if we add the 6 plus 4 plus 2, we see that there are 12 total in the container. In our first example, we want to know what's the probability of selecting a green and then a yellow. We need to find out, first, to set up our problem, we will show a probability of selecting green first. And when writing out this example, we need to find out how many green we have. It shows we have 6. So in our first, the numerator, we'll put a 6. Our denominator will show the total amount in the container, which is 12. We will then multiply and show a probability of selecting a yellow. The total amount of yellow that we have is 4. So that number will not change. We will still put 4. Since our first example was green, our next example is a different color, so we will keep it the same number as 4. Because this is without replacement, this numerator, or the denominator, will change. It will no longer be 12. We will have to reduce it down to 11 chances of getting a yellow in the container. We will need to simplify the 6 over 12 into 1/2. Then we will multiply the 4 over 11, which will give us an answer of 1 times 4 is 4, 2 times 11 is 22, which can be reduced to 2 over 11. So that is our answer. Our next example, the probability without replacement, we're going to try a yellow, then orange. And remember, in our first, we had written down the total amount, and we said that there were 6 green, 4 yellow, and 2 orange, for a total of 12. So since we replaced all of the eggs back into the container for our second example, our numerator or denominator is still going to be 12. So our probability of selecting a yellow is going to be the number of yellow that we have in the container. So it shows we have 4 yellow in the container. Then orange. So we're going to multiply probability of selecting orange. Since this is without replacement, since we've already done the first example, 4 over 12, in our second example, it's going to be, the denominator is going to change to 11. So it shows how many orange we have are 2. That will not change because in our first example, we had yellow. Our second example, we will still continue to use the amount of orange in the container. The denominator is the only one that changes when we are doing without replacement. So we will still have 2 orange. So we will reduce 4 over 12, which will be 1 over 3, multiply 2 over 11, which we will get 2 over 33 for that example. Our last example with our probability without replacement. Remember, we have 6 green again, 4 yellow, 2 orange. Give us a 12 total. We're putting everything back into the container when we do a new example. So for this example, we're going to go over to what is the probability of selecting 2 orange. So we see that we have 2 orange. So we will put 2. We have 2 out of 12 chances of selecting an orange. We're going to multiply probability of selecting a second orange. Because this is a without replacement, we will change the denominator to 11. But the top, because we're selecting the same color, will change to 1. So when we multiply this out, it will be 2 times 1, just 2. And then 12 times 11 is 132. Which it will be reduced down to 1 over 66. So that is our example of the probability without replacement.